Pop culture with Tony Corbo and friends.
I am Tony Corbo.
Is this how you are? I mean, this is your podcast. Is that how you want to introduce yourself?
Oh shit, you're right. This is our first recording.
We can fix it in post.
Okay,
Fix it
cool.
all in post.
Tony, what intro did you have for this?
We didn't.
Well, what kind of podcast is this like? Because I can try to come
It's
up with.
just us talking about pop culture stuff. This is really whatever we want.
Pop culture with Tony Corbo and friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remind me to pay you.
You got it, motherfucker. All right, so
We're using it.
we're using it. It's going at the beginning of the episode, and you'll hear it again. So Tony, go ahead, say your name again.
I'm Tony Corbo.
I'm Ian George.
I'm Michael Broski.
It's Broski, let's be honest.
Broski. And this is pop culture stuff.
It's Daylock. Daylock is the name of the podcast.
Daylock. I like it.
Yeah.
Any reason why?
It's a secret.
Oh, perfect. I love it. We'll find that out in episode 26.
Yeah. It's going to be a whole season arc kind of thing. Magic Tavern Adventure Zone style.
Love it. Breaking the fourth wall already. So I was excited. I got everything set up so I could do this with you because you said you wanted to talk about the new Steven Universe episode, and I need an outlet for that.
Yes, every beginning is an end, and every end is a beginning. Let's talk about the ending of Steven Universe. It's not.
All right, I want to go first since I'm probably the most controversial. I fucking hated it.
Yeah, please continue. I would love to hear that.
I just thought it was just like the most garbage thing. Just like everything just kind of
reasons. Talk about what the details.
Try to wrap everything in a neat bow. It's like, oh yes, the dictators that have killed worlds. You know what? Inside they have a heart of gold, and they totally didn't try and kill everyone multiple times. They need a redemption. Like, the fuck is this bullshit?
I 100% agree with you. When White Diamond was like, I'm not supposed to be pink, I'm like supposed to be pure, and then it's like, well, that made you change your mind, didn't it? I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Can we talk about how White Diamond was literally defeated by Steven saying, no, you?
Exactly. Yeah, that was super weird.
No, you. I died.
I honestly liked her up until that moment. Like the scene, they like perfectly. I liked her character. Like they were making her.
I was hoping that they would
rip his gem out, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was hoping that what was it? That because Homeworld was falling apart, it was like she was the lifeline to it. That if she moved from her post, she would die.
Yeah, that.
I can see why you thought that, why they were going for that. I don't agree with that statement, and I'm glad they didn't do it.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't either, but it'd make more sense than Steven saying, no, you. Like,
like seriously, he just said, no, you, and then she was defeated.
And I do agree that it was kind of a bullshit, like, hey, now all the gems are healed, and like, blah, blah. It was
I don't think they're fully healed.
Well, no, they aren't, because you see the impurities on them still. But it was kind of like they put all this time into the beginning of the episode and then just kind of rushed the ending.
Like they were even rushing it from the beginning when it was just like Blue Diamond was like, you know what? You weren't happy here, but you were happy there. You know what? Fuck it. I want to betray everything just because.
I would believe that more than Yellow and White Diamond doing.
True.
Because Blue from the beginning was, and she wasn't like, I'm going to overthrow everything. She was like, we got to get you back to Earth. She wasn't like, oh, let's just overthrow everything. She said, your legs are right here. Get on the legs and go home.
Okay.
To be fair, what did he need to be there? Why did White Diamond want him to stay?
Because if everyone's back together, the monarch, like the taking over the world or the universe or galaxy, whatever, they have their monarchy or whatever. They're all together.
They didn't need Pink. They didn't need her before she was there. They didn't need her during her being there.
I'm guessing
after she was there.
I'm guessing that they needed her because it seemed like Pink like White Diamond made yellow, blue, and pink, and they all needed to be there to make Homeworld powerful again, to like have it be living
great again, Ian. Let's
yeah.
call it what it is.
Well, yes, but I feel like pink was the reason the Homeworld was falling apart was because pink wasn't there anymore.
Because I think they like what they were going for, or something they were lacked on, is showing that they were all originally part of White Diamond.
They definitely lacked on that, yes.
Yeah.
Like they started going with it, and then it's just like left turn into the whole shit show.
There should have been a lore dump episode before this episode, I feel like.
You mean
instead of the 15-minute silent episode that
exactly.
You're telling me you'd rather have lore than Watermelon Steven playing around with other Watermelon Stevens?
I definitely would. I definitely would.
I can't tell you anything with that episode besides it was a silent episode. There was Watermelon. Steven was just like forgetting how to write. Like, I don't know why. I can remember on the beach, he drew a fucking picture. It's like, does he not know how to write?
He's never been to school, and I think he knows how to read, so never mind.
I was going to say, he has read things before.
Yeah, so never mind. My point is moot.
Hypotheses.
Yes.
Dude, but can we talk about why does everyone have Kamina glasses now?
No, they didn't have. They had Kamina glasses. It was Gurren Lagann to the extreme. Peridot came in and said, "Guess what? Like my drill will pierce the heavens, bitches."
I saw that. And I was like, I do not like her design.
The bigger Simone ones, where it's like 3 spiked.
Yeah,
like,
Garnet had
you guys
that one.
really both need this.
Well, the creators of Steven Universe obviously love Gurren Lagann and the space pirate anime tropes and everything. Hence why Lars was like, there's a whole episode
Space Captain Haddock.
Yeah, exactly. So they obviously wanted to throw in like, hey, I like this and I want you to know that without like blatantly ripping it off. And I'm fine with that because at least it doesn't add or subtract anything to the plot.
Yeah. I really like. I didn't like how they had visors, but I did like how Lapis had like anime pants.
Yes, Lapis was a cool design.
Her design was like the one I liked the most.
Garnet, Pearl's jacket.
Pearl's was awesome too. I love Pearl.
I didn't like Amethyst. I didn't like Amethyst. So.
Amethyst, I was like, I barely even noticed. It took me a second to realize.
What it's going to be for cosplayers is to show more cleavage. So,
there's just no shirt in the middle.
Right? Exactly.
You Steven Universe cosplayers.
I know that it's going to be super controversial for me to say this, but my least favorite fusion of the Steven fusions was Garnet's fusion.
Oh, Sunstone.
Oh my god, yes, I agree.
Because it was
the PSA one was fun.
No, but it was like it made no sense. It made no sense why one, she broke the fourth wall, and two, why she was like that. Smoky Quartz made sense why she was like silly but kind of serious, and it made sense why Pearl and Steven was like a fancy lad but did the fart joke. But that was just out of nowhere to me. The last one, Garnet and Steven.
Yeah, but
can we all agree that 2.0 was the best though?
Yes.
I'm like, can you be my like magical gay Mary Poppins?
I'm hoping to cosplay as them. I'm buying some
the second I looked at that, I'm like, Ian can do that.
I'm literally once you said that, I went on Etsy and bought a pearl and a rose quartz gem to like put on me when I do that cosplay.
Are you gonna get like the little jacket and?
Yes,
like,
I'm gonna get all of it. I'm gonna do all of it. And I'm also doing a
send me the pic and I'll send it to Broski.
Definitely, and I'm also doing a gender bent Garnet. And I'm still up in the air whether I'm going.
No,
no, it's fine. I'm still up in the air whether I'm going to get just the Garnet colors or a ruby and a sapphire colors and just go with that. I'm kind of leaning towards the ruby and sapphire colors because the Garnet one, you can't really tell them apart.
What about that Obsidian, guys?
Oh, Obsidian was great.
Oh yeah. The one thing I didn't understand is I understand they wanted to fuse. I don't know why they didn't want to throw in bismuth, lapis,
Yeah,
peridot, just to, like the stack the power. But I understand like, oh, you gotta throw like the main everyone into one fusion.
and you know
Well,
what?
and you have to think about it.
I can understand why they didn't want to be an obsidian. What I didn't understand was why didn't they make their own obsidian? Hey guys, you want to try fusing? Nah.
Well,
We're good being on the bottom here, and then we'll disappear as soon as the camera pans away.
because like Obsidian was cool. They put Steven's long hair design in it, though. Like it didn't really make sense to me because it was kind of showing Stevani's hair as Obsidian. So I'm like, so is Connie in there as well? But no, she's not. But
I thought
they
when they unfuse too, they're gonna like leave behind like a giant rock body, like to explain.
exactly, yeah.
They
But
didn't. I'm
no.
like, okay then.
But I
mean,
get.
it could be in that tower still,
Um,
because she smacks the face into a tower, and then they dissipate.
True.
Oh, true. The one thing that I would like say why they didn't all fuse together is because, as you see, when all those gems fuse together, you become a caterpillar.
True.
I feel like that would just be also effective.
I mean, true, but you become a very slow caterpillar.
I mean, I feel like they could have plot speed then. It's just
Yeah, no, I agree. But the thing that made me mad when with the fusions and everything, they showed all three of the main things that we wanted, but we still didn't get to see, which they teased when that episode first came out, of Garnet saying let's fuse with Peridot. We never got that shit.
I forgot about that.
I think that's the whole reason we have another season.
I mean, I agree. To see that the gems that were fixed are now living in harmony with the people on Earth, and to see the rest of the fusions.
So we've seen Garnet fuse with the three. We've seen all their interconnected, like the four of them fusing together. Let's break it down a little bit though. Let's see Steven just fuse with Ruby and Sapphire, Pearl just fuse with Ruby, and then only with Sapphire, and then Amethyst with only Ruby, and then also Sapphire.
So wait, what are you asking of us to
like everyone who's fused with Garnet? I want to see two more fusions per each of those with just one and then just the other.
Well, you've already seen what a Ruby and a Pearl looks like fused together.
Okay, fair.
Because that is on Lars's.
Did you realize there's 7 other fusions then?
No, yes, I agree, but you can already count one out, is what I'm saying.
I know.
I
how dare the diamonds? Speaking of the off colors, how dare those diamonds look at Pat Paracha like that? She has never harmed anyone. She's never committed genocide. How dare you?
And honestly, she, out of all the off colors, is like the most not off color. She just predicts the present.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like that's what she was made for.
Dude, that line. Oh no, he's not going to have anything to say.
That was a good line.
You know, and they still did it. I thought she was going to be annoying those couple of seconds she was on screen, but she wasn't, and I was very much like, all right, you win this round, Pat Paracha.
She always plays it so close to being annoying, but she's not. Rutile is still the best off color.
Yes, I agree.
Just throwing that out there.
Was that the Siamese twin one? I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep. So hold on. Let's break this down into.
Your voice gets real echoey. I don't know if that's going to show up in the recording or
It
not.
probably will. I'm sorry. I will talk closer to the microphone. Because I'm sitting pretty far away from it.
No. Back up and shout, I am Zeus, destroyer of worlds.
I am Zeus, destroyer of worlds!
It's not as echoey as I
Damn
thought
it.
it would be.
So what I was kind of thinking is we break this up into like what we liked and what we didn't like about it. I don't have it up in front of me, sadly. I probably should, but I want to go back to Broski, his reasons why he didn't like it, because I was very interested in that.
Go back a step. I had Steven Universe ruined for me. I watched a video essay, like a 2 hour and 45 minute video essay.
It does really make you see the show in a different light, that essay.
It does, and it just kind of also then ruins the creators of it for you, realizing that they're all incompetent, don't know what they're doing, and there is no plan.
I mean, that was Adventure Time, but everyone loved Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Taking that even a step further, have you ever noticed how Dragon Ball Z is the most loosely put together pile
Oh
of crap?
my god, yes.
No. This is from someone who loves Dragon Ball Z. I love it to death. But like when you actually take a step back and look at it and look at like, oh hey, this character disappeared because the creator forgot they existed and was never brought back again because he was too embarrassed about it.
And
That
I
really
mean,
makes you think.
and I mean, Goku either wins every fight by becoming friends with them, or just becoming more powerful than them, and they go like, "All right, I give," or
Actually,
them wish.
Goku really just usually wins with bullshit reasons.
Exactly, but there was a picture that showed Bugs Bunny leaning up against the bar and says when Goku and Broly become best friends, and he just points the gun at his head. So I agree, but people at least like, I don't know, bullshit sometimes. Like if you can do bullshit in a way that is structured that you can't see the bullshit, people tend to like it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because that's like, if I had to line up, even though they're all different shows in their own right, so you can't really compare them one to another, I would have to say least favorite would be Adventure Time, then Dragon Ball Z, then Steven Universe. All have bullshit stuff that makes them bullshit, but at least they put them into a way that you can consume them and enjoy them.
I loved Adventure Time's ending so much. I miss Adventure Time, Ian.
I
Why'd you have
still
to make me
haven't seen
sad?
that.
I still haven't seen it, and it's because there's like, if you think Steven Universe has the most like bullshit episodes ever, Adventure Time multiplies that by 100.
I
There's
wouldn't
so much
say that.
bullshit episodes in there that you have to find the ones that are, if you want to stick around for the plot, then you have to
Well,
scoop them
yeah.
up from
Well, there's
all
a
the
difference
bullshit.
between bullshit and plot. Like a
That's
really
what I'm
like
saying.
laid
That's what I'm
back.
saying.
No, a really laid back non-plot Adventure Time episode is usually really like almost the better ones. Almost the better ones without Finn and Jake.
I'm fine with that. You can have bullshit episodes better.
When you well, don't call them bullshit then. Just say they're like
No. But what I'm saying is, I'm calling it bullshit as it doesn't matter to the plot. I don't mean it's like bad. What I'm saying is the fact that they
non-serialized, I think, is
the fact that they
word.
Yes, okay, non-serialized. The fact that they don't matter but are better than the plot ones, then why make it have a plot at all?
Well, Adventure Time really was only very supposed to have a loose plot, even from the very beginning, and they kept to that.
But
I think they just kind of stumbled into a plot and then like, because I think then like I think they probably had rotating writer because one thing I've saw some
they listened to what people wanted and they tried to work with that. That's what Adventure Time did, for better for worse. It didn't always work out. Because when people like started like making jokes like, oh, it's like so post-apocalyptic when the show started, like you saw the crumbling cities in the background. They really like start to lean into that by the time like the third season came around and they had the Simon and Marcy thing. And then they're like, oh, let's really lean into this and like
I don't know,
really put it together.
I don't know when Rebecca Sugar left the show, but I feel like when she made it, much like Steven Universe, she had no plot for it either. She was like, here's a thing that I came up with in my mind, and we're going to do it this way. And then when she left, people were like, okay, let's listen to the fans and come up with a plot for it.
Well, one thing
the problem with that is that the Steven Universe, the non-serialized episodes are always the worst. It's like the opposite.
And
I don't think you can put down Rebecca Sugar then, because
no. I'm what I'm saying is I'm fine with Steven Universe having it's episodes that don't matter. It's bullshit episodes being worse because I was watching it for the plot anyways.
That's fair. But then why have so many non-serialized episodes?
One thing I saw like an interview or like a video of someone did an interview with like a former animator, and what they talked about, the Pendleton Ward, he was trying to play friends and he just let people do stuff, and then that's why probably a lot of the bullshit he's skipping around, and there was really no plot, and probably someone like oh shit, I should push the plot along just because, or they liked it or something. But I'll have to find that chat or that video. But also in the thing, it says this might not be 100% true. They're not willing to go a full on the record. But it was interesting. It just talked about like a lot of shady shit in that like Cal Arts kind of family of animators. Like I don't like
I
after
really don't
kind of
like
seeing
that
that.
term.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like
Hmm.
Speaking
because
of
it
animation, oh sorry, I
it
thought that
just
was a
went
good
with
time for a
like oh
segue.
sorry
No,
it
no,
just like that video talked about the Steven Universe animator or like Steven Universe team, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Star Versus, like that big Tumblr
yeah,
Yeah.
groups or Rip Tumblr.
Yeah,
Rip
Rip
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
And it's just like I'll put that in there and maybe that can be a discussion for like the next chat.
Starverse
All right,
But
is
cool.
so good.
I still have yet to pick that up.
Oh, it's a fun ride. But back to that segue I was trying to do earlier. When it comes to animation, how do you guys like that scene where he like fused with himself?
I mean it was beautiful, but probably not my most favorite scene, but I was like, "Oh, that's very cute."
It was very well animated to the point it made me mad because Steven Universe is actually like as much as I love it, again, one of the worst animated shows.
yeah,
Yes. But that's the charm in it, obviously.
It
Um,
is, but like
yeah,
I've seen
when it got really good, you're like, "Fuck this bullshit." If you could
see
be
like
this good.
see like OKKO doesn't have the best animation and the best
But
being
OKKO, when
model.
it does have good animation, it's making fun of itself and other shows that are like,
Yeah.
hey, because OKKO isn't a serious show.
Yeah, and that's why I'm more forgiving of its animation because like it's not trying to be serious. Like it's not in the way Steven Universe was. Like it does also have a plot, but even its plot is somewhat silly.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And oh, so one point I wanted to make that's kind of going back to how Adventure Time's non-plot episodes are better than its plot episodes, whereas Steven Universe is the flip of that. Um, when I watch Adventure Time episodes, I usually do end up just watching the non-plot episodes, and I feel like every time I keep coming back, that's the reason I go back to Adventure Time for its non-plot episodes because they're usually better and they are funnier. Whereas their plot episodes, I feel like I get lost in some tangled web somewhere, and I feel like much like Kingdom Hearts, they found out that there was supposed to be a plot, and they're like, "Shit, put shit together and let's figure this out." Because that's what Kingdom Hearts is. It's just trying to figure out what the plot
I
is
love how
now.
Kingdom Hearts is really like quick. Let's make more games with more plot. That's even makes everything harder to put together.
Oh my god, it's the
No one will know
worst.
the story.
It's the worst. But whereas with Steven Universe, you really don't need to watch the non-plot episodes to understand the plot themselves, because the only thing they really give you is the fact that Steven's powers are growing, but you can see that anyways if you watched the show itself, or Steven's like friendship connections, because one of my favorite non-plot episodes is the one where you learn more about Kiki. And so
What about the
you
ones with
don't
Ronaldo?
that one was good too, but
Don't you
it's
blame
just
me?
it's just you the if you give someone all the plot episodes, they will enjoy it just as much as if you gave them all the episodes. Whereas Adventure Time, I feel like if you gave them just the plot episodes, you wouldn't find out the charm of the world if it wasn't for the non-plot episodes. And so you have to like drudge through all of these episodes.
I guess the
Whereas,
shows really are just apples and oranges.
yeah, they really are.
Like it's hard to compare them because
They,
they're so
it,
opposite of each other.
yeah.
one thing with Adventure Time, I really did love the plot episodes, like the Simon and Marcy episodes. They were the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but there's one episode I remember seeing
Is it the comet?
before I stopped watching.
Is it the comet?
For no, it was a bullshit episode. It was the episode where BMO meets his creator. I also fucking hate BMO. I just find him annoying. Like I can just tell he's just made to be cutesy, and that just annoys the shit out of me for some reason.
It's like Gur syndrome.
Yeah.
He was made there to be cute and stupid.
See, you know what? Okay, I have a weird relationship with Gur in my mind, like when it comes to Invader Zim. When I first watched Invader Zim, I'm like, this guy's hilarious. Then like I like was weaned off of it. I'm like, maybe Gur wasn't as funny as I thought. Then like people really like the hot topic people who loved Invader Zim would always quote Gur. I'm like, he's not funny anymore. But now that it's been a long time, I do look back fondly and I'm like, you know what, Gur was funny.
See,
those hot topic people were right.
They just quoted it too many times to make me hate it.
Gur,
out of all the characters in Invader Zim, Gur has now been demoted to my least favorite because I saw him as when I was a kid. I was like, random funny humor, haha, that's hilarious. But now, as I am an adult and still watch cartoons, Professor Membrane has become my favorite character because
you look like him too.
Well, yes, but the things he says are so funny and like for some reason in context and out of context all at once. It's amazing. And it's just like how an adult who's still a kid with so much power would act. And it's like there's one part where like he's trying to give free power to the world and he doesn't want to turn it on because his kids aren't there, and so someone boos him, and so his response to the one person booing him, he says, fine, no free power for anyone, and shuts it down. It's like how a child adult with all this power would act, and that's hilarious, whereas Gur is just like some alien robot that was made wrong.
Tacos.
But I mean, Gur still has some hilarious lines, like the one time when he was eating all this knowledge and becoming evil, and then Gur like makes him stupid again, and he hits the floor, and he just says, "Hello, floor, make me a sandwich." And it's like that's funny. That's funny. I don't care who you are, but but it's still like. You find that, at least I found, is that Gur, much like BMO, over time becomes less charming because he's just the same thing, whereas all the other characters grew.
Bringing it back, I feel like Peridot's starting to be a little bit that way. Sometimes I find Peridot kind of annoying.
I do too, but the thing with Peridot, at least in my kind of way of saying, oh, she's still pretty good, is one, we don't see a lot of her. And I would almost argue that Lapis is more of the character that never really had a big character arc. Like, Peridot had the biggest one. She was like evil, and then went
Peridot, like when she does something annoying, she usually fixes it by the end of the episode.
Exactly.
Lapis is just a bitch.
And she redeemed herself at the ending, but it kind of seemed...
Did she?
But, like, honest... Oh, sorry.
You okay? Oh god, he died.
Oh no. We were never here?
Our first podcast and our host or guest died. What are we gonna do, broski?
Alright. Get the shovels. I'll get the bleach.
No,
he's alive.
Oh damn. Oh shit.
Zombie.
I did brains. Though before I got cut off, I don't know if I said, but when the two hands from Homeworld, or the two hands that Bismuth and Peridot were controlling, got to Homeworld, and Lapis came out of one, I stopped and said, "Oh, that's right. She was like, she came back." I totally forgot the episode before. She came back to help everyone.
Because those hiatuses will do that to you.
Exactly, but the fact that she came back was very quick that it really didn't I forgot.
And when she came back, she had like 20 seconds of screen time before she
pooped. Yeah.
And then it was like, fuck you guys, we're going to Homeworld.
And Lapis really has not done anything. Anything. If you think she redeemed herself, her just throwing the barn and showing up and then instantly dying, I'm not on that train.
I mean, she as a design wise, she's a great character. They did not do her well as a character, though.
Well, one thing, back to those videos that were ruined Steven Universe for me. One thing that, like, it kind of out of context brought up Lapis. So they were supposedly originally designed her to be in an abusive relationship, but then they made her the abuser, but enjoyed abusing, but she was abused. It like they really blurred the line of being abused, the abuser,
Yeah,
and
they really didn't do her straight.
Well, I mean, they did her like an actual real life relationship. Like they didn't do
Did
it like
they
a. I mean, yeah, people who are in an abusive relationship and then come to
go
a
on to
relation.
abuse the next
Well,
person?
if
I
they
am the
find
abuser. It's
if
my
well,
turn.
no, Tony, you're like for real. People who are in an abusive relationship and don't want to be in that anymore, and then find a relationship where they have the power. The only way they knew love was to either be abused or be the abuser, and so they kind of go into this default setting. But they like in a show it doesn't work if unless you have like a whole arc to explain that.
Which they did.
They didn't. No, that's why it was very
And
like
also, I don't think that's true for Lapis in any way, that situation, because she, in the middle of those two things, she had a good, loving relationship with Steven. Like, she learned love, and then she forgot about it.
exactly. Again, they should have had a whole arc for it, but they didn't have one time or two. That wasn't the main plot of the show.
Speaking of time, I wanted to. I tried segueing it earlier, but I didn't get the chance. How about them hiatuses, by the way? So after the show, I don't know if you guys saw the commercial that happened after for like the big movie thing they're doing.
I was watching it on YouTube, so no.
no. Oh
So
well, I did
it's just
find
that
the
little.
video.
It's just like a little like picture of like a heart shaped thing, and then like an evil menacing laugh. And
I
then it's like
think if you
this.
would have watched the San Diego, there was like already a
Yeah,
trailer for it, and I think it's the same thing, but now they pushed it back to the fall, or actually gave
yeah,
it a
no, that's
date.
what I was getting to. It says like this fall, and it just shows thing I just talked about. I'm like, fall. I looked at the calendar. We're still in January. I'm like, that sounds about right for this show.
I mean,
So
that's
was that
definitely true.
like at least 7 months?
That's definitely true. But I mean, a hiatus is a hiatus. People deal with it in different ways. I mean, obviously, there are some shows like One Piece that make them age up or like give them powers. Steven Universe didn't do that because they were trying to follow the plot that they painted themselves into a corner with.
Ian, I don't think you understand what a hiatus is.
Oh,
There's a difference between a time skip and a hiatus.
what's
There's
up?
a big difference.
Well, I thought you were talking about the fact that because most hiatuses, like at least in some
The
stories,
hiatuses are for people to make more of the show.
exactly no, but some people in a hiatus will be like, okay, let's try to like in One
Age
Piece,
them
there
up.
was the yeah, age them up and everything.
That
But
wasn't
yeah,
during a
no,
hiatus though. Like
was it
there was
not?
like
I thought the
no,
One Piece
no.
one was a hiatus.
The
I think they
longest
might
the
have used
author
it as.
has ever gone on a hiatus, I think, was during that time period. But the hiatus was like a month.
Oh, okay,
That
well,
was for the
whatever.
manga.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
I
Oda has
remember
a
that. It was
crazy
like a
ass
month, and
schedule,
it
and
was.
he's very punctual.
But yeah, I don't. I mean, the hiatuses they are long.
I know what
but
you're going
they,
for. That you're saying like it's going to give them time to do more stuff. But the thing
yeah.
is, Steven Universe, they never do that though. They just have a really bad, wacky schedule that no one likes.
I agree. Yes, they
I
have
think
a
why
wacky.
Cartoon Network is like, no one likes it. Perfect. Let me smoke the cigar and be evil.
And let's release one episode on a very random date, and then the next episode the next day, and then the third episode like 3 years from now. Smoke cigar.
I love being an evil corporate
Yeah,
mastermind.
their release dates were very weird. There's nothing really much more I can say about it.
I was hoping Broski would chime in. I think he's.
Yeah, I'm still here. I mean, it's just the hiatus. It's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Everything I've seen,
Like there was like
and
a 2 year long gap, and they're like, hey, "Let's do it all at once." Then there was another 2 year. That's an exaggeration. It wasn't 2 years, but it felt like that. Like we didn't have any show for like I think more than 6 months. Then we had an entire month of the show every day of the week. for 4 weeks, and then another like more than 6 months long hiatus.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
that.
remember seeing like
You know
an
what the
actual
show?
calendar of the hiatuses, and I think this now beat the longest for being like 6 months or some shit. I want to say.
I'm sure there's a way to see it graphed out. Someone's done it before.
The what the show would have benefited from was if it was shown on Netflix. Then they could have just put all the episodes out on once and been on however long of hiatus that they wanted to, because they were like, hey, we made all our episodes, here they are.
God, I love Netflix shows. Because if they're bad, you're like done with it in a day, and if they're good, you could rewatch it and get as much as you can in a day. Like I watched the Carmen San Diego one, and that was pretty fun.
I didn't know they had a Carmen San Diego
Yeah, they
Netflix show.
rebooted Carmen San Diego.
They remade it. It's I watched the first 2 episodes with my class, and they loved it. I was just like, awesome. And they actually still teach you shit in it, and that's awesome.
You know what? I wasn't crazy about that. I know that's like the point of it, but like they really learn how to do that a little smooth.
They do. Yes, I agree.
We're going to Argentina. Did you know Argentina's biggest export is fish? Thank you, kid from Stranger Things. Thank you. I didn't know that. Speaking of pets, I don't know if we kept that in for the segue or not. How do you feel about Lars and Lion?
I mean, literally it was just like, here's Lion, roar, haha, we're both pink. On to the next scene. There was nothing. It wasn't really like, now he was not like, now he's your pet or whatever. It was just like, hey, you guys are one and the same now.
Yeah, I did like how he was like, oh, hey, buddy. And I'm like, it's all we're gonna get? I thought like their eyes were gonna glow or something, or like there's gonna be like a more of a nod to like they're connected now. But I guess,
or that they'll fuse right there.
I'm not gonna lie. The second he touched Lion, he turned into like a weird lion centaur, Lars, with the cape still and everything. Can you imagine?
I mean, Sadie would be down.
Sadie's panties.
When you started saying that, I just imagined Lars with a sword riding on Lion. That's kind of all I did, and I was like, that wouldn't be bad.
Do you think Lion's going to teach him how to like use his lion powers, like running on water?
I mean, I don't even think Lion really understands his powers all that much.
Yeah, they need to explain Lion. Like, is it just
we'll
Lion Rose revive? Like
this season.
That's kind of what you get from Steven doing it to Lars, is kind of showing you how Rose did it to the Lion.
It's just, the one thing I don't understand is why in the hair there is a portal
Pocket
to
dimension.
a dimension. Like, that is like the biggest thing that makes no sense. I can go with the revival and dyeing your skin and hair pink. Like that, see, I can believe all day long.
That's the kind of thing right there. I'm kind of glad they don't know, because the point of Steven is he's the first one, and that nothing else was like this before him. So the fact
and what I'm going to chalk it up to...
Actually, that's not true. Rose did it.
Oh, sorry, Tony.
I'm wrong. No, everything I just said was wrong.
Sorry. What I'm going to chalk it up to for Lion is the special place in Lion's head is she's a diamond. Like, they have crazy powers that no one can explain. It's kind of like in D&D. How does this work? Magic. Don't question it. She's a diamond. Don't question how she can do this shit. Steven doesn't really know everything he can do.
The one thing is, all like Pink Diamond and Steven are the only ones that been shown really to have multiple powers. Otherwise, Yellow has the lightning separation ability, Blue has the crying ability, and then White has the takeover. They've not been shown to have like the list as long as your arm of abilities.
That's the thing too.
I feel like the fact that we didn't have as much like story with them, we would have found out more if we had more story with them.
Instead of a 15-minute silent episode?
Exactly. Like
You're really sour on that.
It's just I feel like they just watched an episode of that underwater episode of BoJack and like we can do that, and it's like you barely have characters at points.
now the thing that would have made that episode, I guess, better was like the main point of focus.
No,
You
what
cut
made
out
it
for
better
me.
is when Watermelon
Sorry.
Steven finally got to land, Greg just ate him.
So
That would have made it
hold on,
better in my book.
what I was saying was what they are trying to do throughout the entire series is this is all through Steven's point of view. But then there are those episodes where it's like, hey, this is someone else's point of view. So the fact that they're trying to do an episode where it's Steven Watermelon, it's like, well, of course it's Steven Watermelon. This is still through Steven's point of view. So all we're gonna see is Steven doing Steven things. Whereas they already broke that rule with the Lars episode and other episodes where Steven wasn't the main character. And so they could have done that, like Steven going to Earth and talking to Bismuth, and that could have been that. You're right, that did not need to be an episode. It could have been like, I'm going to Earth, and then we see other shit. But the show, I feel like, keeps forgetting that they're making episodes where Steven isn't the main focus and we're not seeing it through his eyes, and forgot that. And it's like, well, now we're seeing it through Steven's eyes because this is the last episode or whatever.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just like, but I guess the one thing, since at least for me, I didn't have any emotional connection to the Watermelon Stevens because literally forgot about them since what was the last episode with them when
Yeah, it's almost like there was a
Lapis.
long hiatus in between.
There's like
I think the
several.
last time, yeah.
It was like when Lapis and Jasper were fused and the gems were fighting him, and then like, oh look, there's the Watermelon Steven civilization, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. And the thing that they don't explain, which I'm fine with, is why is there a dog and a fish?
The dog I get, the fish, like, I don't.
Yeah, like where did they all fucking come from? Did one Steven Watermelon just go in the water and evolve?
Reverse evolve too, for that matter.
Yeah, really.
Going back to being a fish, just like the whales.
And then at that point, I was like, why doesn't Steven just take over the watermelon fish?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, they're obviously all Stevens. Even like he created them, he should be able to just go inside the fish watermelon, swim really fast back to shore. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't know. It made me like confused why he didn't do that.
I didn't even think of that, and that's like a good point. It's none of it makes sense. Because one thing I heard about the human zoo, like the main driving force behind that episode, is they just wanted to draw hot people from like 70s sci-fi fantasy, and that's what
with
they
cat
did.
Faces.
And then it's like, and then that to me took a lot of out of that because I was like, originally I was interested, like, but then I more thought about it, like, how the hell do humans after like 5,000 years still are able to speak modern day English? And that to me was like one thing that's like they
no, broski, it's because English is the universal language. Everyone speaks English. Even in non-English speaking places, they speak English, like space.
Oh, and one
the
big
reason
plot hole
I was
to
Homeworld,
oxygen. I don't understand how Homeworld has an atmosphere.
Just because the gems don't need to breathe it,
Connie
doesn't. No, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean that atmosphere doesn't have oxygen. Like if you look at Mars and you're like nitrogen, why is nitrogen there? Because that's what's there, broski. It's possible to have a planet that just has oxygen on it without any trees making it.
True.
It's not that.
I find it hard to believe that their planet is perfect environment with no trees, no signs that.
Maybe it was at one point, broski. We still don't know how the first gems were made. If they have to like be made.
Okay.
And I feel like if you get hung up on that stuff, like why don't they speak English? Why does everyone speak English? Even the gems, they should speak some other language. Even the
Yeah.
creatures that were brought there, and why can they breathe in on Homeworld when they're all diamonds? They don't need to breathe.
It's
I
just
feel
like,
like
do you really want to
questioning
bog
all
down
of
the
that.
plot with all that? Do you really want that? No, you
Yeah.
Exactly. I would, if they got into the logistics, I would then hate the show, because even like I love Doctor Who, and the fact that they say, "Oh, the TARDIS is what translated all for us," I'm like, perfect, short and sweet, to the point explanation.
Like
Maybe
that.
Steven has a what's it called from Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Babel
Galaxy.
fish.
He's got a Babel fish in his ear. I don't fucking know, but
Like, I would love something like that. Just like a throwaway bullshit line is better than don't think about it to me.
I don't think we need one because, like, the second the gems came down from space and spoke perfect English, that already establishes, like in Dragon Ball Z, that English is the universal common.
Well, one thing
or
with
Japanese, whatever version you're watching.
I guess one
Subs,
thing
not dubs,
with the
everyone out
gems,
there.
like,
Daylock is subbed.
but with the gems, they could be the ones that created English or language,
Yeah,
because
would've been a great throwaway
they're
line,
kind
too.
of at that
Just don't
time.
worry about it.
But it's like that. I can
Have it be in
believe
your
more.
head,
that would-
Brandon. It doesn't matter. There's a million.
I mean,
and
that
one different
that would
reasons.
that could definitely be it. And you have actually, if you want to use that explanation as your background, yeah, the gems came down, they taught them language, and the fact that the gems need a planet that is rich with like minerals or materials, much like Earth was. Then they probably had their planet before it was broken down had
Also,
life
they built the
growing on.
pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. As shown in the $1 bill.
See, all I want to know is Stephen and Connie were locked in that room for. They did say it was like 2 days. Where did they poop?
Don't say it. Don't you say it. Don't you break my innocent
This time we
children.
walked in that room. She smelled it.
she smelled that funk.
And she's like, I don't know what that is because I'm not human and I don't know what that stink is, but I do not approve of that smell.
Was anyone hoping that once Steven was had Pink taken out of him, that he started to like show age again? Because it just kind of looked like he was dying. But they even make a reference, like they make a point to show in the birthday episode that he has stayed the same age for a while. Or
I
at least
think-
he's looked the same age for a while. And what I was hoping that once they took out the gem, he would kind of like slowly start to show that he was aging.
I
Or-
heard someone else talk about that, like on just a YouTube podcast. I feel like that doesn't matter too much. He's a kid.
I don't think it matters
Also
either, but
only
it would
has
have been a
one shirt.
nice kind
He also has only one shirt, Ian. You want to point that out too?
He also has, wait, what?
Also only has one shirt. Do you want to point that out?
Well,
too? He's a cartoon.
No,
character.
but the thing is though, they actually at one point stopped and said, "Hey, he doesn't have he hasn't aged." It's
Then he
one
just
thing
doesn't
but it's one thing to bring attention to it and then never come back to it, but not bring attention to the shirt, because all that's just like cartoon characters in general, like Shaggy and Scooby. They only have one outfit, except when it's just Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy. They all have red outfits now. Like for some reason they changed clothing, but
we don't talk about Scrappy Doo on Daylock. Also a rule,
right? We do not.
Bronski,
But
back me up on this. Come on, you're the other creator of this podcast.
I'm okay with talks of Scrappy Doo, because I honestly liked
This
13
podcast
Ghosts.
is over.
13 Ghosts were great. But I'm just saying they talked about it at one point, and it would have been a cool nod to talking about the fact that he he hasn't been aging, and it would
We
have
have
been a
another
cool nod to
season.
be like, oh, the gem was what was the gem's power was keeping him that age, and I'm fine that they didn't do it. It would have just been cool.
I would have
See,
been okay if they would have aged him slightly somehow, and just how
Yeah,
everyone else got a redesign. Like, just make it like a little taller, maybe change a little. Not saying like
yeah. Was anyone else expecting him to change after he fused with himself again?
I didn't. Those are all good points, but like I think they didn't do that because he did have a new look this whole like last bit. His like pink diamond look.
I just thought that was
Like
stupid.
I guess the symbolism was
Oh
him
my gosh,
looking like
was
himself again. What?
but was anyone hoping that Connie like took a couple of the pebbles home with her?
Yes. I was
I,
definitely
I
like
love the pebbles.
not that she took some home, they snuck on her like somehow like in her bag or something.
Yes.
They're like we
They
will
are so
deliver it.
fucking cute.
oh, one thing I thought was I saw it off of Reddit that one of the pebbles is the only male looking gem or gem creature.
If you think
Because
that's the only male looking one, you need to take another look at Topaz.
She's more like a trucker woman.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
like
a
if she
nicer way
didn't
that I was
talk, would
thinking.
you say the same thing? If she didn't talk, you just looked at her face design, would you say the same thing?
I'd
No,
still say it was more feminine.
no. Topaz
I
definitely.
don't know. That's just me. I thought she was still feminine
I
when
hear
I
you
saw
typing
her.
away there, broski.
I have to look. It just
I know what Topaz looks like because she is my
Birthstone.
birthstone. So I looked up several pictures of her to be like, well, this is my gem now.
She's got
The thing,
DSLs, but like other than that, she's definitely more
hey,
dude
can we
looking.
also talk about how they never fucking explain again that half or maybe all of Homeworld's buildings are made out of gems?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. How like the walls and stuff have
That's
faces, moving
Yeah,
faces on
that's
them.
like never going to like Steven's just like, well, the gems on Homeworld are still boned because now they make the buildings. Like that was like I was like, is that because every gem has a purpose? When those gems are made, are the diamonds just like, well, go make my house now because you are it.
Go be my house.
Go be my house.
Real
the
talk
one
though, I would love a smart house like that one Disney Channel movie. That'd be cool.
So you want your
yeah.
house to fuck you? Is that what you're saying?
No, what? No, I
That's
want
what
like
she does. She wants to fuck the dad.
no, she doesn't. She
I
wants
mean,
a
it has
loving
to make me
family.
dinner first.
Have
Fine.
you
All
have
right.
you seen
Let me
Smart House any
rephrase
time recently?
the what?
Have you seen Smart House anytime recently? Because
No.
the house wants to fuck the dad.
Then let me rephrase. I want like a Tony Stark Jarvis house. Or Jarvis is in it and talks to me
Wait,
as
are
I
you saying
speak.
Jarvis doesn't want to fuck Iron Man?
I mean, I
God
saw
damn it,
some
you're
pictures
right.
on the internet that
Mm,
disprove you, Tony.
yeah, I think Jarvis is all about fucking Tony Stark.
Disprove me on Topaz?
Just one side note, I didn't realize in like Marvel comics, Jarvis is actually sometimes a real person.
He's Jarvis was turned into Vision, right?
No, but he's saying that he was like a butler, like
Oh,
Yeah,
he
there's like
was?
an actual butler like called Jarvis because I a little while ago read like Secret War where like the scroll came in and then like Jarvis knew something like wait Jarvis there and then there was like just a fucking person
Oh my god!
and like
I don't because I know what you're saying. Like he was probably just a regular butler, but all I can imagine is like Jarvis in a chair with all these wires like going into him,
kill
and he's like, "Well,
me.
he's like, I'm in, Tony." He's just like hacking all these different things, and then he comes up. He's like, "More tea." He's like, "That now, Jarvis."
That is literally what Alfred does for Batman
Yeah,
sometimes.
he's just like, "Don't worry, I got it."
Dude,
Oh.
off topic. You know the original Justice League people are getting back together for a new movie. Like the
I had no
Justice League
idea.
animated Tim Burton style of Justice League.
I had no idea. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it looks really neat. I'm super happy about it. True Batman is coming back.
And I love how you said that, not to get off topic. We were talking about Jarvis wanting to fuck Iron Man, so that's pretty off topic already.
I mean, who needs
There's always
topic?
room.
Yes. I guess to wrap up, I don't know if you want to wrap up, but I kind of feel like we've talked about a lot of what we like and what we don't like in a very unorganized way. But
Welcome to Daylock.
I
Please
personally,
subscribe.
as if that was going to be the last episode, I would have been fine with it. Yes, they rushed it. Yes, there was a lot of stuff that I wish they answered, but now that Tony told me that, hey, there's going to be a new season, it kind of makes me mad that this one isn't the last one, because yes, they left a lot not explained, but at least they could have like made a couple of shorts and been like, hey, now this has been explained away and we don't have to make anything other than that. But now it's kind of like we've got a whole new season. There's probably going to be a new villain if what the commercial you says goes through, and it's probably going to be Black Diamond or whatever. And
Blood Diamond.
Or yeah, blood. Oh God.
I hope if that's true, it has a very thick African accent.
I
will
hope
not
it
accept
doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
You guys know what I learned recently?
Rebecca Sugar just
deaf.
becomes a huge racist.
I think I'm deaf to a South African accent. I can't hear it for the life of me.
Really?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
So, okay, next guest has to be from South Africa. Please comment below if you can at least pretend to do that. If you can't, please try.
If you are white and can do it, please do not, because we don't want to get a lot of hate mail.
I want video responses of you trying to do a South African accent, and I want whiteface too, even if
Bro,
I want
please. Can we at least wait a little bit before we do racy stuff on this show? This is
I'm sure Jacob would be all over doing the racy stuff on this show.
Okay, maybe we'll do Jacob next time. Both of you. You guys want to be regulars?
I guess I do not mind being a regular if we have it set up like this. But I guess what I'm saying for kind of my end of it, though I'm sure I'll say a couple more things, is I liked the last episode for what it was. But with the Diamond switching to Steven's side so quickly, that was kind of bullshit. And the kind of wrap up was kind of bullshit. But if it was the last episode, I would have been fine with it. But now that I'm figuring out that it's not the last episode, I would have loved there to be more to that then. They could have added more.
Yeah. See, my biggest problem is you don't put the bookend before the book ends, you know? Like they had the theme song playing in the end of the episode. Like it was the show wrap up, and that's not the show wrap up.
Yeah, no, they definitely jumped the gun there. The only time you can have the ending of the book before the ending of the book, or before the end of the book, is if your book is a loop, like the Twin Tower series of Stephen King. Because
I'm so glad someone else has read that.
Dark Tower. I've never read them. I just know that the beginning of the book is the ending of the book.
Oh man, I just imagine like a really, really effed up parallel world where like the Twin Towers keep getting hit by the plane.
I mean, technically that would be happening.
Oh,
yeah. But
we lost him.
Oh shit!
That's Daylock, everyone. At the last second, the guest randomly drops. All right. Do you want to
just want to end it?
Yeah.
All right. That's all, folks. Ian left due to technical difficulties. Remember, whiteface.
No, please, not whiteface.